Hi, welcome to the Stitchin Post. I'm Samantha, and today I'm going to show you a really quick way to make some Christmas cards with watercolor. We're going to make a very simple ornament. You can see right there what we're making. And we're going to use a technique called wet on wet to make these fast and easy for us. Because if you have a big Christmas card list, you don't want to be spending, an hour on each card. So hopefully these will just take about 10 minutes per card. Okay, so I am going to show you a couple techniques, and then you can mix them all up and make the card of your choice. So I've got these examples here, and I'm going to start out by showing you this single one right here. So we're going to make one big ornament ball, and you probably can't see because it's very, very lightly. I have an extremely lightly drawn circle on there, and I use kind of whatever I have around the house to make my circles because I don't want to freehand it. So this is a set of little cardboard templates. I think it might have come with a quilt thing that I got. Honestly, I don't remember. I keep it in my drawing box just to make circles. And so that's what I did with this one. I just traced this little cardboard circle, okay? So my tip number one for today is keep 2 things of water, okay? So I've got one, you can see it's got a little bit of a pink tint because I've already been practicing a little bit, and one that is totally clear. So there's nothing in here but water, and I'm only gonna put a clean brush in here so I keep clean water. And I'm gonna do that because what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our brush and we're gonna paint this circle just with water, just with clean water and nothing else. So I'm gonna go around the edge, and I want this pretty wet. Follow the line, but this is, this is watercolor, and if it goes outside the line, most of the time that looks pretty good. So I don't worry too much about being like totally exactly on the line. Just get the water in there, okay? All right, do you have a color preference? You wanna make the ornament purple? All right, and I'm gonna pick a side. So you always wanna think about where's the light coming from. So it's coming from up here to me. So I'm gonna start at the bottom with my paint, and I'm gonna just drop it in right along that edge. And I'm gonna come in here with some good wet paint and drop it in and let it bleed. Oops, I put that in the wrong one. I just did what I told you not to do. Okay, some more paint here. And I'm gonna let it bleed over with just clear water. This paper is very different than my paper. All right, so I'm going to, I think the blue would be kind of pretty with the purple. I'm gonna mix in a little blue down here too. It's very hard to do this upside down. There we go. Now I'm getting a little bit more of the blend that I want. This is another thing that is, your paper in watercolor makes a huge difference in the techniques you're able to use and the how well it's going to blend. So this paper is it's doing a great job. It's not, I've got a little buckle, but it's not buckling a whole lot. And it's blending. So you want to make sure you use watercolor paper. All right, I'm just gonna go for it here. We're experimenting together. I think this color looks really pretty, so I'm gonna add a little bit of this color into the mix here. that all up together. And I don't want any hard edges, so you can see I'm kind of just pushing my brush around to make sure that those edges are blended in. All right, I like the way that looks. And so I would let this dry, and then you can see with this example here, that's what I did, and I mixed an orange, there's a little bit of yellow out here, some red, and then I put some gold in the mix too. So I let it dry, and then when it's dry, I came back with a Posca pen and added these little details just with a pen. So the other thing we can do for this, it's my little trick for these two ornaments. Oh goodness, sorry. Sorry for those on the video, that was probably loud. This is actually a jigger. And I like it because it has two perfect circles that are just a little bit different in size. And so you can use it to give you that effect that one is behind because it's slightly smaller, okay? And so you can see I painted this one ahead. I actually painted the rim of the jigger and then just stamped it, right? And then stamped it again on the other side. And when I did it this way, you can see I've got this nice firm line, okay? So you can get that effect if you want this firm line. And then I added more paint and blended it in just like we did in this technique over here. On this one, if you like this more kind of loose, less of a firm line, I made a really watery mix in my paint well. Let's give this a try. So I'm gonna make a really watery mix of paint here. Lots of water in my well. And paint in there. I kind of like the more fluid, loose. That's kind of the fun of watercolor, I think, okay? And then all I did was just dip it. Can you see that gets the paint on there? So I just dipped it. Oops, I got a splash. That's fine. Not gonna hurt anything. And there we go. And now, while it's still nice and wet, I'm immediately gonna go in here with my water and blend that line in toward the middle so I don't get that hard edge. Okay, so I've got my nice white circle, and now I'm gonna go back with a heavier paint mix. So I'm adding more paint to my water so it's a stronger color. I'm gonna start at the bottom and just drop that color in. Right, and can you see how it's flowing toward the top? And you know, sorry, I'm wiggling that all over the place. You can kind of control it just by moving your card around. And you get these beautiful kind of flowing mix of colors there. And we can add in some other color too if we want. Let's put in, I really like this gold. It's really pretty gold in this paint. I'm gonna put in a little gold over on this side. And I've totally messed up my clear water. I stuck it in the wrong one. Okay, there. So I'm just giving it a kind of a subtle highlight over here with the gold on that side to blend in. So I've got a little bit of a shimmer. And then you can see over here, I left this pretty light. And I'm even gonna take my paper towel and just blot out a little bit. I don't want it quite that blotted, so I'm gonna just give it a little blend, and there we go. I'm gonna paint right up to the edge, and this has to be dry, Because if you paint right up to the edge with the clear water and it's wet, it's gonna bleed, right? It's gonna just go right off into the outside. And obviously I'm not thinking about this a whole lot. I'm just slapping some water on there, making sure I keep a little bit of white on the outside because I think that looks nice. And then I'm gonna take my nice juicy green here and I'm just gonna drop it in and let it kind of just do its thing, whatever it wants to do. Okay, move it around a little bit. Let those colors just kind of go where they want to go. And if to me, this is a little bit of a harsh, so I'm gonna get some water and I'm just gonna blend that out a little bit because I don't want any really harsh lines, right? And I'm gonna let that dry. And another good thing to remember with watercolor is this is gonna dry lighter, right? So this looks a lot darker than this does. It's not. It's gonna look like this when it's dry. It's the same color. So that's the color wash background. This one takes a little more effort. And I'm not gonna go into all of the details of this today, but you could try painting branches behind your ornaments, or you can do like this finished one is more of a splatter technique. And I did one here to just show what it looks like before I painted the ornaments on. And I'm gonna add a little bit of a more splatter to here just so you can see how you do the splatter. So I like to have a clean edge. So this is washi tape because it's got a low adhesive and will come off without tearing my paper. So if you want to do splatter, you just get a really wet brush and let's add a little bit of this light green to our mix. I've got some darker green and gold on here. And then you either put it on a table you don't care about, or you make sure to put some paper towel down around your item. And all you do is that's it, just bang your brush and then let it dry. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please like and subscribe to our channel.